In a quiet corner of Baseco, Tondo, began the journey of a young girl thrust too soon into the trials of adulthood. This is the story of Jessica Olango, who faced poverty, motherhood, and heartbreak all before the age of 20. Amid the chaos of Manila's crowded streets and the silence of nights spent alone, Jessica fought for her family, her children, and ultimately, herself. What follows is a story of strength, sacrifice, and the unyielding hope that even the darkest chapters can lead to new beginnings.
I am Jessica Olango, 17 years old when I got married, and 20 years old when I gave birth to my first child. My husband was 23 years old then. We lived in Tondo, Manila, in the Baseco area. When I was 17, my husband and I were struggling to make ends meet. I gave birth to my first child when I was 20 years old. And my husband found work at Devassoria, but it wasn't a permanent job. My mother helped us a lot, especially when I gave birth. My husband didn't have a permanent job, and I was struggling to provide for our child. Sometimes I had to do everything on my own. When my mother had to go back to Cebu, I felt so alone and struggled to care for my child. My husband's family didn't help us much. I had to rely on my mother's support, and sometimes I felt so tired and overwhelmed. Years passed, and my husband's addiction to drugs and vices worsened. He started with smoking and drinking, but eventually he got into drugs. I was so worried about our children's future, and I felt helpless. There were times when I wanted to give up, but I knew I had to be strong for my children. One day, I decided to leave my husband and take our children with me to Cebu. It was a difficult decision, but I knew it was for the best. I was worried about how my husband would react, but I knew I had to prioritize my children's well-being. When I arrived in Cebu, I gave birth to my third child. My husband tried to contact me, but I didn't want to talk to him. However, when he messaged me and asked to talk to our children, I relented. He promised to change and be a better father to our children. I was hesitant at first, but I decided to give him another chance. I allowed him to talk to our children, and eventually he started to make amends. He apologized for his past mistakes and promised to be a better husband and father. I'm grateful that my husband has changed and our family is now doing well. I learned that giving people second chances can be beneficial, but it's also important to prioritize one's own well-being and the well-being of one's children.
Jessica's journey is not just a tale of survival, it's a testament to the power of a mother's love and the courage it takes to rebuild. From heartbreak to healing, from despair to redemption, she reminds us that while second chances can offer hope, it is the choice to protect one's peace and dignity that defines true strength. Her story is far from over, but today it is one of resilience, renewal, and a family brought back together, not by fate, but by faith and determination.